I just wanted to be around Jill. She has this sort of energy and a presence.
I don't think that she'd let me, but I would call her my guru if she would.
She's just this bundle of joy, and the first day I took her class, I just knew there was something that resonated with me.
Jill has always been a mentor of mine. I remember taking her class when she first became a yoga teacher. She just emanated this open heart, and I was just hooked after that class.
I needed like that extra level of support, and I love Jill, she's awesome.
And I feel like Jill just brings out those snowflake qualities in everyone that she's around and just makes them shine.
I just wanted to surround myself with a community of people who I felt were really like-minded, and Jill was just the shining light, really, that led all of that and connected us all together.
And I know she's going to be a part of my life and all of our lives forever.
During the first meet and greet session of Elevate, we do an exercise that involves pairing up with a stranger, placing your hand on their heart.
And we looked into each other's eyes and said, I love you. To look into someone's eyes, you know, that you really didn't know, you know, for that very first time, and to be really truly honest.
It made you connect with everyone and break that mold. I feel like if we didn't do that, we probably wouldn't have connected the way we did.
Finding that shape and noticing where you feel stretching occurring, where you feel depth of twist, where you feel, you know, whatever it is, internal, external rotation, shoulders, that kind of stuff. And then think about how you might accomplish that in working up. And so you kind of back your way out of it. And because you can read a lot of books, but really it starts to just become very intuitive, because your practice and your teaching are intrinsically connected. And you start to speak about your own experience being in these shapes and how you feel it.
The most powerful workshop that we had was the arm balances, teaching arm balances and inversions.
To get into a handstand, I have to be so focused. I have to be really keenly aware of all of myself, and I have to recruit all of myself for the success. And not just maximum strength, but like also I have to find the efficiency in my movement, where I'm not over-efforting, so it is still indeed a yoga pose. You can track your progress from seeming impossibility to possibility, and you have enough evidence to keep moving forward. And so then I just got really in love with those postures, because I had achieved enough of them that so early in my practice felt unattainable, that they became really exhilarating poses and very empowering poses for me to work with.
There's so many aspects of yoga. I know Jill's doing such an awesome job of bringing all these different facets of yoga together, so that you can learn more. And when you go through your teacher training, there's only so much information that you can absorb at that time, and then you're spit out, and you hope that you get your first thing going, so then you can start integrating that in and putting your hands on bodies and seeing real bodies and finding your voice. But it's just a continual evolution. So even if you haven't started teaching yet, or even if you've been teaching for a while, these things just keep going deeper. It's really what it's all about, and just keep tapping into the source.
During the philosophy of yoga and the Yoga Sutras. We did some chanting, some kirtan, and all of that fused together just really filled my heart.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Krishna is within the Hindu pantheon. One way of thinking about him is the aspect of the divine that's just purely about love. There's nothing else. The more we can give in the right way, the more we become our true self.
Just the science of being and the art of living. That's it. It's no Hinduism involved in it at all. What do we want? First question we talked about is that who we are. Who we are is not, we didn't talk about religion, right? We talk about our true nature. And yoga leads us to realize, experience, and be in that true nation. So religion has nothing to do with yoga.
How did you discover your guru?
When you seek, guru appears.
You were 5 years old, right?
Yes. My mom was my first teacher. And because it was me, it's just, I'm so fortunate. Because it's kind of in the DNA, right?
An asana practice is all about internal geometry. It's about becoming established in the framework that's already available to us. And in the body, it is about the positive and negative pole of prana. The yoga practice is asking us to identify with what we already have, run the energy in a way that purifies us, a way that establishes us on the wheel. Patanjali calls it sukha. So sukha is an axle that is perfect, and that the axle turns. If you go back all the way down to the original wheel, they were like carved out of stone. You can imagine, like, remember BC, the comic strip, the guy. So it was rough, but it was still a wheel. And that axle, if it stops working, it starts to wobble in its geometry, its perfected geometry. And what happens, it goes into dukkha. And then it starts losing. So what happens if that happens to us? And we're just like, what if it's a body thing? Well, we want to get stable.
For me, it was really just about reorienting my life in a way that moved yoga more into the central sphere.
Into the fire, breathe in. Halfway down, like there. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. What we'll do is we'll go into movement. And that's really when you start to have the experience of more of the subtle body. And that's when I feel like things will really sink in. Because you'll start feeling it more, and you can come out of the head space and come more into heart space.
One of my good friends started this company called Vosges Chocolate. And so she and I started talking about how I was fusing yoga with all the things I loved. She was fusing chocolate with all the things she loved. And what if we did a yoga and chocolate retreat? And we felt like we had something unique that I couldn't really put a finger on it. And the New York Times did this whole Sunday spread on yoga retreats. It's like a growing business. And like the first thing they mentioned was our retreat to Oaxaca. And took off from there. So my whole thing is try to be like, how can we help make yoga more relevant for people? How can you integrate it into everyday life? And sometimes you can't when you're stressed out, caught in traffic, not feeling good, boss is yelling at you, you can't bust out into a warrior too. But you can have a piece of chocolate, or you can hear some jazz. You can do something that reminds you of that feeling that gets you back to that headspace. So I try to that's my mission, making it more relevant, making it more fun, making it more accessible for people. You gotta show up, bring big energy to your class and kind of electrify your students in your own way. But whatever it is that you do, you have to be excellent.
Have to find space and set some boundaries so that you can be inspired and re-inspired and inspired and create and bring all of you in fresh ways, new ways for the students and for you.
You always have to reinvent yourself and try something different, and it gets really easy to do the same thing, to teach the same type of poses, to use the same playlist. It's easy, and so you've got to be comfortable in the uncomfortable space, and kind of surf that edge. It makes you feel alive.
I would audition people at our studio where you would come in and I'd set up an audition with 3 or 4 teachers at once. I always look for the heart of the person. Just right away. For me, that's really important when you audition. Just be you. Just
come in, be you.
Just really trying to find myself and find my voice. So I went through and I saw them on my phone. I had 6 different playlists. I had pages upon pages of just different flows that I wanted. And then I just was like, I'm just overthinking all this too much because none of it's me. It's just stuff and things that I think I want to do, but I'm just not there. So I made a new playlist. It's completely different. Like it just kind of came to me and I didn't even write down my flow. And it was like, when I was done with it, like I had like this beaming smile like from ear to ear. It was the most amazing thing because it was an actual offering and it was completely authentic. The quality of the teaching that I'm doing is directed to exactly who I want to be teaching.
I was really looking for my voice, and I'm starting to find that voice, starting to create beautiful sequences that flow and that are creative.
Finding my voice and finding my confidence.
To be big, to be a big presence, but to be true and to be authentic at the same time.
Giving away what I already have inside and finding that there is a need for that.
Being true to yourself and following your heart and connecting with people on like a heart level.
I just feel like it's inspired me so much to be the person that I want to be.
To be okay in my imperfections, that my imperfections are perfect.
Feel 110% convinced that I can do this.
Before coming to Elevate, I was very independent and I wanted to do it all and do it all myself. I've just been opened up to this huge community who are willing to, support me, surround me, and lift me up, and that I don't have to do it all on my own.
The importance of community for me, how just critical that is.
We are our own toughest critics, and that we should listen to the praise that we hear from our peers.
When you encourage and help each other out, when you help each other succeed, your platforms rise together. So if you guys all do support each other and you're all rising, all of your stars are lifting at the same time.
I've known these guys, you guys have heard me say this. Everybody that's come in here, that's talked to you guys, I've known for a very long time. Stay connected and you all, I like it because it's Elevate, you all kind of elevate together, just stay in contact and you never know where you're going to be. I mean, this is a very tight-knit group of people.
Continuing.
Heart.
Authenticity.
Transformative.
Growth.
Inspiration.
Accepting.
Community.